Hello there. In this video, I'll show you real practical ways you can transform your photography, whether you have nothing to spend, £100, £500, or even £1,000 to spend, to help you get the very best results, whatever your budget. Let's go. Hi, I'm Adam and welcome back to First Man Photography. Now before we get going today, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a domain name, a website or an online store, make your next move with Squarespace. We're going to save the wholesome goodness of the things that are free until the end of the video because the best things in life are free and I want to save the best until last. My first recommendation of something that comes in at £100 is an LED light. Something like this one from Aperture. This is the Aperture MC. And this comes in, I think, bang on £100 actually. And I have used video lights or little lights like this instead of a flash for about 5 or 6 years now because I find it just so much easier, much more versatile and much more useful. Say if you are doing a portrait of somebody, rather than faffing around with a flash, you can just bring one of these in, hold it, and then you can model the light on your subject in real time. Now you can get more expensive flashes with modeling lamps, but these do the job because they're so much brighter than they used to be, and they'll do the job of a flash. And with modern cameras, you're going to get beautiful results with these all the time. They're versatile as well and go beyond just portrait photography. I've used them for lighting up bits of a landscape. I've used them with macro and product stuff, and they have uses way beyond photography as well. Unlike a speed light, these are brilliant when you're camping or if you have a power cut, and they're magnetic. They're a lot of fun, and I think it's worth £100, but you can get them for a lot less than that as well. My second one, I featured this little Canon printer a while ago. This unfortunately comes in at £120, so we're over budget with that one. But Canon also make one that does slightly bigger prints at 4x6 size called the Canon Selphy CP1500. You can get that for bang on, or actually I think it's about £99. And that's insane because you can just have it on your desktop rather than faffing around with a massive printer and just print out little 4x6 images on really nice photo paper, printing your work for less than £100. But I think that's fantastic. But let's move on because we've got a lot to get through here. The next one for the landscape photographers amongst you is to carry with you decent coffee or decent hot drinks. Because when you, especially if you go out in the winter and you're out on the hill and it's pissing it down with rain, it's uncomfortable, it's hard, you feel lonely, the second you sip on a hot drink, your spirits lift, your spirits raise, and you get right back into the mood and the zone for doing photography. A flask is the easiest option. I like these Yeti bottles, which I've featured before because they're good for cold drinks and for hot drinks if you have the right lid. And if you want to go all out, and my favourite way of making coffee out in the field is to brew it out there because it tastes better, it's wholesome, you have a wonderful time out in the landscape making coffee, and it's just super exciting. My recommendation is to use an AeroPress to do proper coffee, or if you just need to heat the water, I would recommend the Alp Kit brew kit. I'll put a link down below for that. It's a bit like a jet boil, but it does the same thing, but it's just a lot cheaper. And yeah, I've had a lot of happy times with that out on the hill. Right, what's next? Oh yeah, a roll of good duct tape. The number of times this has rescued me is off the scale. When things break or you need to tie yourself up in a chair to make a weird bit of video for YouTube, duct tape has the answer. And there's a famous saying that if you can't fix it with duct tape, you're not using enough duct tape. And one of my most recent purchases for, again, bang on £100 is a good head torch. Again, if you're a landscape photographer, but I think it's a good thing to just have anyway. Now, I've done a lot of research on this, so I'm saving you some time, and I can let you know that this is the best one, I think. You don't need to spend more than that. You can get the massive ones that have straps over the top of your head and a battery on the back of your head. they're uncomfortable after a while. But this is kind of a fell running one. It's by Fenix. It's the, what is it? The Fenix HM65RT version 2. It's super bright. It's got a nice wide field of view, and the battery lasts for ages, and that comes in at £100. So yeah, brilliant bit of kit. Very happy with that. Now for £500, my recommendation here is firstly what not to buy, and that is one of these things, an action camera. These get sold to photographers all the time, and I find unless you are doing some extreme sport, these are an utter waste of time. They are the most hateful bit of kit I've ever used. Whether it's GoPro, whether it's DJI, I really don't care. Whether it's old, whether it's new, they're all terrible. They look awful and they take terrible photographs. And I hate them. So don't waste your money on an action cam unless you need to film extreme sports. That's my first recommendation. Secondly, for £500, you can get a Canon printer, particularly the Canon Pro 200S, which I featured in the last video. This is a stunning printer for under £500. It prints A3 plus, and it just looks brilliant. And I've talked about it over and over and over and over and over again on this channel. But if you start printing your work, it can move your photography forwards more pretty much than anything else out there, because you hone your craft down into creating a physical piece of artwork. You're putting your money where your mouth is because it requires resources. You've got skin in the game, and it forces you to think really carefully about what you want to create, what you want to produce, and really what you want to communicate with your artwork. My next one is, again, probably more so for landscape photographers than anything else, but if you're in a studio, you're going to need a tripod as well. And when I first got a good tripod away from the cheap, nasty stuff you get from Amazon via China, it blew my mind, the difference it makes. I used to hate using a tripod, and then suddenly I loved it, and I use them all the time now. And at the moment, I am using this one. You see that? This is from Three-Legged Thing. I always forget the name of it. It's the Winston 2, and it's carbon fibre, and yeah, I love it. It's super sturdy, not that heavy compared to some others I've used. You cannot go wrong with a good tripod. Next up, I have another new purchase, which I'm excited about. And again, pretty much for landscape photographers, but I'm a landscape photographer, so I'm not sorry. It's this little Garmin inReach Mini 2. This is basically a sat phone, except it doesn't do voice. It's mostly just text. It can do a little bit of data as well. But this, I think it was about £250, something like that. And then it does come with a little, you have to subscribe as well, like you do with a phone. I think I pay about £14 a month. That gives me a certain number of 50 odd texts every month, which is about enough for me. And it links to your phone as well. So you just go onto the app on your phone. You can send a message to the people that you want to send a message to, anyone in your contacts, and then they can reply to you as well. And if you lose your phone in an emergency, you can also text directly off this as well. I spend a lot of time in the Lake District, and so often I'm without a signal. And the truth is I'm getting older and I'm not quite as fit and steady on my feet as I used to be. And I feel like I've been pushing my luck not having a GPS type sat phone like that up to now. So I finally got one on my 44th birthday, and yeah, fantastic bit of kit, highly recommended if you're going, especially if you're going out on your own into the mountains. It just makes sense. Next up is to just very simply do a workshop or go on a trip. I think the older I get, again, the more I think paying for experiences is more important than buying stuff. Because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to remember the stuff, but you are going to remember the amazing experiences. And if you choose the right photographer to go on a workshop with, you're going to have an amazing time and hopefully learn something to help your photography. Right, we'll talk about things in the £1,000 bracket in just a minute, but as you know, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. And in my opinion, Squarespace is just the best place for photographers to build their own website. And the reason for that is it's just so easy to do, and your website's going to look original and beautiful. There's a couple of ways you can do it now as well. You can still use one of their templates where everything's sort of set up for you, but they also now have AI, which they call design intelligence, which helps you to build your website. It can do custom templates, or it can write the copy for you to bung alongside your pictures on your website. It's really quick, it's really easy, and it looks beautiful at the end of it. I've been using Squarespace for years, and I wish that I had discovered them earlier. The other good thing about Squarespace is it will grow with you. You can start with a simple website, with a simple gallery, where your images will look big, bold, and beautiful, and it's just a much better place to share your work with the world than social media is. Then, if you want to, you can upgrade your website to an online store to start selling things like books or prints or mugs or workshops or anything that you can think of. You can sell it on Squarespace. So if you want to take your photography to the next level, why not try a free trial with Squarespace? Just go to squarespace.com or hit the link down below, and then if you like what you've created, use the offer code FIRSTMAN. That's right, FIRSTMAN. Tell them that I sent you there. Then I get the credit for you going there. You get a brand new website and Squarespace get a new customer. We all win, and it's a beautiful thing. Right, so let's move on to the £1,000 bracket now. And I don't want to spend too long here because there's loads of options and it's a lot of money, especially at the moment with the state of the economy and things. Now, a lot of options that you have here are to do with the second-hand lens market. Pretty much, you'll be able to get any type of lens on the second-hand market for under £1,000. So if you're thinking that a lens is what you need, yeah, I think you're good. And go and have a look at the various places where you can buy lenses. A macro lens is good, and also I still love prime lenses. I think they force the creativity out of you more than any other lens. But that's an easy answer, so let's move on. I think a drone is an interesting one. When you get into the £1,000 bracket, you can get a really good drone that takes really good photographs. I've never really done a massive amount of drone photography. I use my drone mostly for video and getting those sort of establishing aerial shots on my videos. Yeah, it really creates a new perspective for your photography. Just be sensible with it. You don't have to be scared of it. Just be sensible and don't fly it over people. I mean, it's so simple. Someone was flying one over my house the other day and it's super annoying. But usually when I fly mine, I'm out in the countryside, out in the hills, all on my own. So it disturbs nobody and I get that lovely bit of footage and it's good fun. The next thing is back to printing, but this time you can pretty much get an A2 printer, something like the Canon Pro 1100, which is just over £1,000. Again, I featured that on last week's video, but yeah, I won't go over why printing matters. Again, I've done enough of that, but A2 is a stunning size. And when you print it big like that, and then you frame it with a mount, you get a significantly impressive big piece of artwork, like this one here that the frame that I made myself. Love it. I love printing. And sometimes what people say to get good printers is that you need a calibrated monitor, and that is something else you'll be able to afford in that £1,000 bracket. Now, I've made a point a few times now saying that you don't necessarily need a calibrated monitor. And that's true, especially with the Canon software, with the pattern print thing. But you can also just print out a little one first, test the color, and then make your big print. But a calibrated monitor, like this one I've got here, is useful. It's just an upgrade across the board. It's better for looking at, just for doing normal work. It's better for watching videos on if you do that on your screen. And then you've got that calibrated element of it as well to get accurate color for editing and producing your photographs and prints. My last one in the £1,000 bracket is to do a DIY home studio. I've done this several times now in several different places that I've lived and worked. And it's just a fun, fantastic thing to do. And it creates a variety of scenarios to extend your photography into different genres. It's good for portraits, it's good for product, it's good for macro, all sorts of stuff like that. First thing I'd get is probably a background or a backdrop, where you basically get a roll. There are you can get some with 2 stands like the one I've got, and then roll stuff down, or you can get ones that stick up on the wall that are a bit more expensive. My recommendation though would be, rather than to use cloth in your roll, use a lino. I've always done that, and it looks super smooth in the background. You don't get any creases or things that you're going to have to deal with in post-production. It's just nice and flat, it's nice and smooth, and it looks good on camera. If you're only going to get one backdrop as well, I would get a mid-grey backdrop, because if you put enough light on it, it can appear white, and if you reduce the light and do like a low-key type setup, that a grey background will then look black. So it's super versatile. But yeah, you can also do colours and stuff like that as well. There's various lights and flashes you can get. Like I said, you can get a proper flash with a modelling lamp, which is useful. Or you can get video lights, like I've been using for a long time. I think that's super, super fun as well. You can get little boxes like this where you can do your product photography. You can tether your computer to your camera so you can see stuff on the big screen really quickly. That's also a lot of fun. There's reflectors that are super useful. I mean, they come in at under £100 and are a good thing to have anyway, but yeah, good for a studio. The unglamorous thing here for stuff that is free is to just do more practice, do more photography, get your shutter count up. Because unfortunately, there are no photo hacks. It's basically just doing it over and over and over again, practicing and building your skills up over time. If you need a little bit of support or a little bit of guidance, then you can go to my website, where all of my masterclasses are now free for you to watch. There is a macro masterclass. There is a landscape masterclass. I've put all my printing videos on there that kind of form a masterclass now. There's a water drop photography masterclass. There's loads of stuff on there for you to watch, and it's all free. So you may pick up some ideas, get a little idea going, and yeah, it's all there for you. I run it on a value for value basis. So the idea being is that if you watch the videos and you get value out of it, then you can give me value back in return in a variety of ways, including becoming a patron and supporting me to continue making these videos, because it's hard work and there's not a lot of money in it, if I'm honest. Another idea is to learn about the artistic elements, things like shape, form, and space. I've made a whole video about this before, and they're basically things that you can use to arrange the things in your frame to create a really intentional and careful composition, which will hopefully make better photographs for you. I've then got a little quick fire list for you. So start a photography project or 3. Join a camera club. There are some brilliant ones out there. They get a bad rap, but I talk at some of them, and there's some brilliant ones out there. Find a photography companion, someone to go out shooting with. That's a lot easier said than done, unfortunately. But if you do, it's fantastic. It doesn't have to be lonely. Try different genres and techniques. We've talked a little bit about that already. And avoid social media. But most importantly, if you're a landscape photographer like me, just get out there and go for a walk. Get your camera in your bag, hike up a hill, and before you know it, something is going to come across your path, something you want to photograph, something that you want to create, and you end your day with a beautiful sunset full of the joys of photography in that moment that presents that sense of meaning and fulfillment that we're looking for. So I hope you enjoyed that. Click here if you want to watch a recent comparison video I did of Canon's latest photo printers, or click here to watch another one that I think will be good as well. That's it for now. I'll see you on another one very, very soon.